Welcome, everybody. My name is Kent. I'm joined today with Grandma, and we have a special guest today, Rune Amundsen from Norway also. Welcome, Rune.
Thank you. I'm very pleased to be here. Hope I can add something of value to your podcast.
Thank you very much for joining. Yeah. You guys know each other from before. This is the first time I meet you. So, for the audience that maybe doesn't know you, you are a pretty famous man in Norway. Who is Rune?
Yeah, famous or famous. I used to be somewhat famous in the in the 80s, and because I've published a lot of books about what I was studying, and what I was studying was consciousness research, near-death experiences, hypnosis, and those kind of things. And I wrote books about that. It was a lot in the media, in TV, radio, and made some big conferences and participated all over the world as well. So I had a high profile for around når man skifter årtusen, hva er det? Det er jo change of the millennium, yes. Yeah. Then things happened, so I went out of the picture.
Yes.
Yeah. But here is the conference. Can you see that? Den konferansen som er nå begynner jeg å snakke norsk. The conference, the first international conference that was arranged on near-death experience actually happened in Florø, a little town in Florø where I lived. Then were Raymond Moody, Ken Ring, Peter Fenwick, David Lorimer, a lot of other, both from Sweden, Denmark, and most of the people that at that time had researched the near-death experience.
Fascinating. What do you care about today, Rune?
It's amazing in relationship to what this book here, Life After Life, that Raymond Moody published in 1975. And I had a very special way of meeting this book because I was at that time looking for some topic to my student in psychology, the final PhD study of psychology. And I wasn't able to find any topic. So I was wondering, and then I went past a little shop on my way to a night shift on the psychiatric unit where I was working part-time. And then I noticed this book, and I thought, oh, I buy this, and and then it was a very quiet night watch. I read the whole book, and when the night watch was over, I had decided I'm going to finish my psychology exam with the in-depth study of the near-death experience. Yeah, so that was the start of it all. This hovedoppgave, as we call it in Norwegian.
Yes.
Yeah.
Can I say something about how we met?
Shall I say something? You can say something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was back in 1990, approximately 92. I was what you can call very sick at the moment, trying to end my life, and this podcast is a little bit about we are a little bit rebels, Kent and I. So we are speaking about a lot of topics, and When I was sick like this, I met a psychiatrist. He said to me, I will give you some pills and I will have you back at work in 2 weeks. So then I understood that it was no hope, so I tried to kill myself. But before this, I saw a program with you in TV, in TV Norge. And at that time, I was thinking, there is something I would like to try for help. Yeah. And my husband at the time, when I tried to kill myself, he called you. And that's how some months later, I got an appointment with you. And to make a long story short, you saved my life. And I know that you saved a lot of other people's lives with what you was doing with. Instead of giving people pills, what I experienced is that you created this safe space where it was safe to experience my feelings and everything who was going on in my psyche, so to speak. So yeah, that's how we met. Yeah.
Yes, that's how we met. Yeah, and I really appreciate your gratitude for what I try to do for you, and actually thousands, a lot of other people who came along the way. So I always did a lot of traveling as well. So I met a lot of people. But it's important what you say in you have to make the space for people. First of all, you have to be an optimist. You have to see them healthy. Who is Pia when she is a happy, lucky, creative girl? Most of the time, for most people, is that the creative, the happy, the who have all the tingling in his eyes and in his life. It's kind of gone away. So what I'm thinking about in terms of therapy is to make the therapy room a totally open room where everything is, in a sense, allowed.
Yes, and not dangerous.
Yeah. And also that the experiences, the feelings, the residues of trauma which might rest in the body, it's so important that it's not only in the head, but let the whole body experience and express it through the meeting with another person. And it is the sharing that is very important in healing. So that's never thought about myself as a healer. But a lot of people say I've healed them. Maybe I have, but I think the most important part of every healing is the person getting healed. He or she must be ready.
Yes.
So it's pretty tough what we are carrying within us from past lives and different things, psyche, because a human being is a person where a lot of worlds are coming together. In a sense, you can say every world is going through that person. So it's very vanskelig på norsk, da. Ja. Og det
Difficult.
difficult var det var. Ja, det var så difficult å si difficult, da. Ja.
Yeah.
Ja. Og så må vi le. Vi kan ikke we have to laugh a lot because if we take this life too seriously, it's kind of drown us.
Yeah, it will. Yeah.
And I feel if I take my English serious, I'm drowned. I'm out of it. It's a long time since Tipperary. It's a long time since I speak English in this manner.
Yeah.
Well, okay.
But you are used to singing in English, so, but not speaking, maybe, because you sing Beatles.
Yeah. If I fell in love with you, would you promise to be true and help me understand? 'Cause I've been in love before, and I know that love is more than just holding hands. If I give my heart,
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm.
I'm singing in a choir.
Yeah.
I was actually singing in Korskirken, in the Kork Church in Bergen.
Yes, you told me.
200 meters from where I was born and raised.
Yeah.
And it was a very kind of strong experience because I was the vocalist in one song, and that was Down by the Riverside. And
Yeah.
I'm gonna lay down my burden down by the riverside.
Yeah.
Det var en heftig opplevelse, men det gikk fint.
Yeah.
You seem to be an interesting person, Rune, with a varied interests and had an interesting life. But what makes a person have the ability to save lives, you think, like you have?
Well, you have to love people, and you have to want to help. You have to have that feeling that you like to help people. That's the question. When people come to me, I say to myself, what can I do to help now? And I found that when people are coming for help, no matter what the problem is, there is always something you can do to help with the right attitude. Yeah. Maybe you can't solve the problem, but you can give something that makes that person feeling seen and heard and valued, and that I believe in him or her because I do. I'm an optimist. I know there is no problems, only solutions. Of course, the problems is massive, so it's a strange to say it that way, but there are always a solution, something that you can do when meeting people to answer your question. And also I have to find out what can I do to help now, what is needed here. And sometimes it's like that psychology work. You have to go into the unconsciousness, and you have to go into the deep feelings that rest in the body, and you allow them or help them to come up and release itself. But sometimes a person needs something totally different. A job, for instance. And very often I could take a telephone to someone I knew maybe could give it a job, and then work perfectly. So I have a very open mind in the sense of the helping business. Very easy. What can I do to help today?
Yeah.
Fascinating. Yeah. What as a person that comes to you for help? is in a situation that's not good, of course. And you have talked about they can have experiences from past lives, and so does this affect any? Also, how does this affect your treatment?
Well, I'm quite certain that we have lived very many times on this earth, or other places as well, and I have a lot. There's a lot of documentation of that reality, of, for instance, the past lives inside of man, and the effect that they have on relationship, on everyday life, because it's here and there. It's here. No, it's not far away, you know. Everything is simultaneously. So, but maybe I didn't answer your question. No, did I? No. What was your point?
From a person that knows only here and now.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you
Okay.
open this person's
Yeah.
eyes or mind,
Yeah.
how does it affect your treatment?
Because first of all, that is the stories of past life is resting in the body. The way I work with past life is through how previous lifetime I have made the marks, karma, if you like, on this body in my relationship or in my life now. Because most of the people, all the people we have met before, I think, which is important for us today. We are repeating things some we have been stuck in, and we are coming together to meet and try to sort things out again. Mm-hmm.
What is
that, but maybe Pia, you could clarify how did that function for you when your consciousness about previous lifetimes and that?
Yeah. When I got absorbed in the previous life, it was catharsis is the closest word to me.
Yeah.
Because it was like everything who was hurting was just dissolving in thin air. And I had this grand understanding of who I was, of the universe, of why things was happening to me like they did. And also I remembered that life in detail. From the place I lived, grew up, my parents, my siblings, absolutely everything I knew in 1 second. Just in 1 second, I knew everything.
Yeah.
So
it's kind of a download of information.
Yes.
That's the way consciousness, when you go to the more linear kind of reality, then the information comes in like that.
Yes. Yeah. The hard drive was already there. It was just to push the button to open that hard drive.
Yeah.
Yes. That took some time because it was scary to I remember I needed some time to let down my walls. And that was where you came in. Apropos to create this safe space and to want to help. And yes.
Yeah.
So that's how you saved my life.
I can try to explain why I started to work with these kind of things, because I used to only have talk therapy, you know. And then I realized that however good the dialogue was, or the relationship and therapy situation was, you could talk over and over again, and the next week it was like the same, because it was not in the head problem, it was in a deep body, you know. And then I just laid a mattress into the therapy room, and instead of talking about the problems, then the problem, the catharsis, because the strong feelings into that. That's the reason you came all the way from Hedmarken or Oslo to
Yes.
Florø, you know.
Yeah. I was
Because
driving
there was
7 hours.
strong
Yeah.
negative feeling inside, so drove you to, I have to get out of this. And when you get it out, then you seem to be totally other person.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
still
Yes.
it's doing strange thing with your body and your feelings, you know.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then there
Mm.
was a lot of laughter, and there's a lot of catharsis.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because catharsis is in Norwegian renselse,
Mm.
the
Yeah. It's a cleansing.
a
Yes.
cleansing, yeah. You not
Purification.
you get out the feeling.
Yeah.
People, they are they actually able to take anything as long as they are allowed to express themselves.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
that's the point. I'm not doing like that. I'm hypnotizing people into previous life. Many of them come, you can't hypnotize me. You are hypnotized. You have a problem. The
Yes.
problem have hypnotized you. And I was
Mm.
trying to help you to see, where have you been hypnotized? Is it
Yes.
this
Mm.
life? Maybe even in future life or future day, something really bothering you here from in here,
Mm.
because time is open.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. And also, I was, I, mm, I had the feeling that I was finding the key to my soul, as to speak.
mhm,
Yeah.
mhm.
My problem was that I was shutting off my soul.
Yeah. Mhm.
That was how I was
Yeah. Or the
thinking
reason,
about it
yeah,
intellectually. Yes.
yeah.
I was
So
going
what
to
is
ask you.
hmm?
I
What
was
is the
go
soul?
Yeah.
What is the soul? What is your interpretation of this?
What is the,
Soul.
was it the soul?
Mm-hmm.
That's what we are, you know.
Yeah.
Our body here now is our soul in this reality. There is no difference between the soul. The soul is making reality. Soul is reality. And when you get into a body, the soul is lightening up the body and giving it all it needs. It's not, when I started to study psychology, I was believing that everything that a human being experiences is coming from the body. When the body dies, it's no thoughts, no feeling, everything is gone, you know. Well, it's not that way around, because everything exists simultaneously. And the soul, in that was the important thing with the study of near-death experiences, that they proved once and for all, when we are dying, we are not becoming extinct or utslettet på norsk.
No.
No,
No, we are not.
we are getting more. All the things that we are, our thoughts of feeling, identification, etc., we takes with us into the realm of soul, because the soul is taking over the moment we leave this reality. And then you experience soul in a more profound and more direct way.
So death is more, so you can say in a way that death is more than life?
Yeah.
Is life plus
yeah.
even more?
This is all soul, this reality.
Yeah.
It's not separated. The soul is what creates reality. Without soul, there is no reality. But to my great amazement, I discovered that, we go on after our body falls down to earth. It's not possibly to extinguish yourself.
No.
You are alive and will always be there.
Yeah.
But to the guys that say if a person is soulless, what do you think about this expression? Does everybody have a soul?
Yeah, I think that's a good expression for what I'm saying. When people are losing their gist of life, this kind of thing of being vibrantly alive and interested in life as a little child is, we lose that kind of thing, most of us, and then we, in this reality, in this society, with all the problems we have, all the madness going around, getting worse every day, it's very hard to keep in touch with this feeling of joy, this feeling of that life is an adventure and I am able to enjoy it and express myself in my life.
If the world now has a lot of people, a lot of souls, but we are the most people now that has been on the world ever. Does it create new soul from nothing, or what's the relations with from the time that the world had a billion people until to now? Does everybody have a soul, or does it come souls from another place, or what? How do you think about this?
I'm not sure if I understand what.
Yeah. So if every person in the world has a soul, and let's say for a few years ago it was a billion people in the world. Now we have 8 billion people.
I understand you. Yeah. Because there is only one soul, and that's shared. It seems when you awake in the morning that it seems as if the reality you wake up to out there in the morning is outside of yourself. In reality, what you see there out there is inside of you, because you create in your soul when you wake in the morning, and then you think I'm separated because the world is out there and it's dangerous and it's after me. Yeah.
So
Was that the question? Because the soul is not part of that adventure that I'm separated from you here, for instance, it feels like that. In reality, we are one. That's what I believe, and that's one of the most important messages of the study of near-death or consciousness. They are the biggest kind of secret is that we are in love with each other, each and every one, and even in the direst kind of situation that we people can experience together, there is still a connection of love, whatever happens in this reality, in the physical reality. Do you understand what I think you understand, Pia? What I'm saying?
Yes, I
There's
understand.
meaning in the web of life. It's meaning ourselves. It's meaning in our relationship. Life comes from the inside and out. That's my answer.
Super fascinating. If I've heard mentioned before that life is a matrix, like the movies.
Yeah.
How does this compare to what you're saying now?
I think you're right. I think this is we are magician, if you like to use that word, but we have been learned in this reality to create a very tiny little reality, which very often is kränkende på norsk. Hva blir det, Pia?
Yeah. Violating.
Violating for that we are violating ourselves in a way. So.
So this is pretty deep for people, so the normal people that listening to this. Yeah, they will think it's goes over their head a little, maybe.
Yeah.
But how you see it? What is the meaning?
I don't think it's very concrete, because it is this reality. That's why I'm when I define the soul, I define the soul as experience. Soul is experience, okay? And when we're in a body, we have an experience through the body, but still it's the soul that make it possible for the body to experience. Yeah. And then the matrix is part of that, because really we are big, powerful beings, and we move in the matrix, but we have our limitation in our mind, because we have been taught so much thing which is wrong.
But if we are having this human experience, we are one soul together. You are on this earth now. The experience of being on this earth now as one person. What is the individual meaning of life, you think?
Well, I think that's individual. That's a strange thing. We are all one, but still we're individual, even, I think, in soul form. I think when we're without the body, still we have some sense of individuality. Yeah. Feeling like, this is my brother, this is my sister, but I'm still something for myself. That's the way I think God's created this situation. And then we decided to go in this matrix that we strongly experience that we are bottled into a body, and we experience like the cave of Plato, sitting in there, and the senses are hypnotizing us, and not so that we not can take in what we really are, which is a lot more and more powerful and happier.
How does God fit into the picture of this?
He fits nicely in for me, but that's a long journey, I mean, I was believing materialist and atheist when I started in this journey, but then all this kind of information, documentation of experiences of another kind, which strongly suggest, and you can prove it as well in Nadette experiences, when people are seeing things when they are floating around in the operating room or what have you, then it's very good documented what you see without your body and what you hear without your body is accurate also in relationship to what's happening in the physical reality. And that was very profound for me. And it decided for me that this must be real, because that's the way we are deciding what is real, because I can see it and I can confirm it. That's the way it is, you know. And the same thing I did with the near-death experience, and a lot of other scientists as well. That in fact, what they see is not only meaningful in sense of feelings and emotion and the all over life of that person, and it also concretely true in the sense that it's accurate what you are seeing still in unreality. And very many doctors have been amazed at Blitten Fotard, what they have done, what they have said, what they have used, and it's correct. It's documented.
Wow. And so it's one, so when people are listening to this, and they have another thought than you, maybe, and they don't believe you. What makes a person come to this conclusion and their journey and to believe what you're saying now? And how come some people may not believe it, you think?
Well, I'm not here to convince anyone to change their opinion. Maybe one day I get new information, I think, oh, this new information places all this, what I believed, I'm telling you no, in a totally new perspective. So I have to change all over again. There is no life after that. There is no God. There is no Jesus. There are no, you know, the near-death experiences, it's not only the soul, it's the whole story, the life review, for instance, that everything that we people experience, it doesn't go away. We have like a computer inside of us that are registering everything, our thoughts or feelings, not only for ourselves, but for the people that we're interacting with. So that's another profound side with near-death experience, that it tells that there is meaning in life and nothing is happening which we not on the soul level have decided for ourselves.
So we have decided beforehand that we want
Yes,
to.
there is no victim in that sense, even if there's a lot of victim from our perspective in this reality. It's full of. But in the bigger picture, from the soul, it makes sense what's happening.
So for someone that's, so when you see the situation in the world today, we have wars and we have suffering and everything like this. And what you're saying is that we have chosen this beforehand. If I
You are chosen to go in. If you go into war as a soldier, or yeah, you have chosen that. Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, that's also my feeling from that previous life I was experiencing. That because that situation I found myself in as a Jew who was coming out from Auschwitz and lost all my family and stuff. The feeling of grief and the feeling of being abandoned when I was in Auschwitz was the exact same feeling that I was struggling with in the life I have now. Yeah. Being abused as a child and the grief that my parents was not being parenting me, to say so, was exact same feeling. So I think So I think maybe I was deciding to come back after Auschwitz, to come back, and I was choosing that life to experience the same feelings because they needed to be released.
Yeah.
And I also chose, I think, to release them.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't mean all my problems went away. No. But a totally new, fresh, different life.
Mm-hmm.
And still some of the old stuff made me stumble sometimes after I had this experience with you. But overall, it's a totally different life from that moment.
Yeah.
And I think I was choosing it.
Yeah.
And I have no how to say.
The way I look at it, we are not choosing it in the way that you are choosing your SP or Alcibiades, your life here, but in the bigger picture, your life as Pia matches the things that you want to experience and release in this life, and to use the word matrix, to go out of this victim matrix into a matrix that you are sovereign in your own life.
Yeah. Yes. That makes sense. Yes.
Yeah. Because this matrices, they are all sort of kind of patterns, and very often you get stuck in a pattern you don't like, and it's like a fish that's on an angle and you don't get loose because it's dragging you along all the time.
Yeah.
But then when you got this release, catharsis, which you mentioned early on, then you can see that there is other worlds around you, and maybe we should participate in this. And therefore, it was also so important that we come together, like, for instance, we do now. But we did in those days a lot of coming together because there was a lot of work in groups, and we had a lot of fun together, and we ate together.
Yes.
And so it's a lot of sharing. It's not therapy in the sense that I do something like that. It's sort of another kind of matrix that I see that I'm you and you are me, and the way I look at you is the way I look at myself, And if I can see you healthy, if I can see you happy, I become happy myself, and I can participate in your happiness. And that's why it's so important to be an optimist in this life, because it goes down the drain. It's extremely. I was in the 50s and the 60s. I think, whoa, everything's gonna be fine, And then it looks like the whole planet is exploding.
Yeah.
Strangely.
Yeah. Maybe it needs to explode to have a refresh. I don't know. Yeah.
But Rune,
yeah,
when I die, like in 100 years or something like this, because I want to live and experience things, what are my choices then? As a soul, as a part of can I come back? Can I choose not to come back?
Yeah.
Or
You are free. You
what
are free.
happens?
You decide. That's my belief.
And what is on the other end, do you think? If I don't want to come back, if I say, okay, I haven't had enough, experience a lot of things, and
I think that's the the point with the past life therapy is because to be free of this life, and if you don't want to come into this reality again, you can do that because it's natural for you to decide for yourself, and we are powerful beings. But somehow when we come into the body, it's so easy to be stuck in a bad matrix. Could we say that one?
That's good news for you, Kent.
Jeg må reise til England igjen og snakke lenge. Ja. Det er vanskelig nå. Og jeg var ganske god, eller jeg er ganske god engelsk. But it was,
yes, you are. I was
it's
like
difficult to express oneself in English, I found. I was kind of surprised by that.
It get easier. If you speak more, I think it gets easier.
Yeah.
Oh.
But it's like 20 years since I've been around in England and America and talked like professional things or on these issues or topics together. And it's only a strange vocabulary as well, you know, and very often it's hard to pronounce them as well, even if you can. Well, anyway, did I answer your question? You are free to do whatever you like, even in this life. That's what I'm thinking. And if you are not free, it's because you have made yourself unfree in some way.
But you mentioned, so at the start, you mentioned that we can be here or we can be somewhere else. What were you thinking about when you... So is there another place we can go, you think? Or is it another world? Is it a part of the big conscience? Or is it... what happens to me 100 years if I don't want to come back, you think?
If you don't want to come back?
Or if I want another experience, you think this is possible?
Yes, certainly.
So can I...
Actually, there's in that experience, it's pretty... it's very usual that people are so excited and so happy and feeling this other reality so much better than they definitely not want to come back to Earth again, you know. And a lot of them, they decide, oh, I have to go back because I have to do that and that. A lot of people, they are more or less sent back because the attraction of what they are not finished with will drive them. It's what is karma. Maybe I can explain it that way. The way I look at it, when you die, if you are looking back to your experience and you are dying with a bad feeling or resentment, that kind of thing, then you are throwing an anchor in this reality. That anchor will drive you back into Earth, because if it's the Earth, you have had that before, you know. Yeah, it's the way. That's the way, for instance, Pia explained it just a little bit ago. Because it's we are connected to, even if it's like, oh, it's over. It was in Second World War, you know. It doesn't exist anymore. It does, you know.
Yes, it does.
How many times you think we can come back? Is it a cycle that, or is it a loop that goes around, or is it?
I think it's up to you. I think God made us free, and He made us certainly free not to not experience physical reality anymore. Because my impression is that physical reality is totally foreign for the godlike state. God is not, in my way of thinking about it, He may capable of imagining this reality where we are separated from each other. That's the big illusion when we meet each other. For instance, here, that we are separated from other. In reality, we are one.
But so if we are one, and we are on this world now, experiencing some kind of individuality, what happens to this individuality when we pass? And like you say now, we stop this life, we go to the big beyond. And like you say, if we have a bad experience, you may want to come back. Do you come back with the same soul? Is it some kind of individuality in this? Or is it only the big soul? I'm not sure if
I'm not an oracle, but my impression and my way of thinking about it is that there is individuality and there is freedom in God. God does not imprison us, but we do it ourselves. And having this podcast and this kind of discussion, we are trying to figure out, how can I become free? How can I become myself? How can I use that kind of spark of individuality and creativeness and what you want to experience, what you want to do, you know? Let's take an example. When I become a pensionist, a pensioner, then I thought, what? No, then I was free to do something. I was thinking, what did I really like to do? And my thought went back to when I was 13 years of age, because then I was so happy when I was hoping, I was pole vaulting. I think that's stavhopping in Norwegian, you know. Yeah. And then that gave me so great joy. So I went out to the forest and I made a hoppestativ, jumping, and I started jumping again. And I got that feeling that I had when I was 13. And that's the kind of trick that was part of my, not only getting back to earlier lifetime or that kind of thing, but what's most repressed in our lives is our joy. The things that we stop doing for whatever reason here. And try to discover those things on earth that gives joy, that you really like doing.
Love, joy, and freedom is what people need.
Yeah.
Yes.
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 Come together right now. Over under me.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Fascinating. I would like to do this again sometime. I think it's been an extremely interesting conversation.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you for your participation in it and your invitation of me in it.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Rune.
And I love you.
I love you too.
Remember, that's what's much repressed is our joy and our love for each other. Thank you. Yeah. We meet again.
Super interesting. Thank you.
Yeah.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Say hello to Grete.
Bye-bye.
Bye.